Hi, I'm Kyle Johnson. I did my sound project on the Nutcracker March, and I chose this because I love Christmas. A little outline of my presentation. I'm going to go and tell you about the composer and the conductor, a little bit about the Nutcracker story, and the musical elements and organization of the Nutcracker March, and then we'll watch the video. Alright, so Peter Tchaikovsky was the composer of the Nutcracker March. He was born on April 25th, 1840 in Russia. He was the second child of 6 and had 4 brothers and 1 sister. His father was Ila Tchaikovsky and his mother was Alexandra Aussier. At the age of 5, he started playing the piano because he enjoyed his mother playing it. At the age of 14, his mother died from cholera, which put him into a state of depression. And overall, he had a pretty rough childhood. After his mother died, he was sent to a boarding school in St. Petersburg by his father. In 1859, he graduated from the boarding school and worked in the Justice Department of Russia for 3 years. Then from 1862 to 1865, he studied music under Anton Rubinstein at the St. Petersburg Conservatory. In 1866, Tchaikovsky became a professor and taught theory and harmony at the Moscow Conservatory until 1878. He had some strange relationships in his life, like he had a student at his Moscow Conservatory named Antonina who persistently sent him love letters, and in one of them she threatened to commit suicide so if he would not marry her, and so he married her, but their marriage in 1877 only lasted a few weeks because she was literally crazy. After their divorce, she was taken to an insane asylum where she spent the rest of her life, and even though their marriage was terminated legally, he still financially supported her until his death. His other strange relationship was from 1877 to 1890, he was supported financially by a mysterious woman named Nadezhda von Meck. She supported him because she loved his music, and she was like his devoted pen friend, and they wrote like 14,000 letters to and from each other. In 1890, she abruptly stopped writing him letters and supporting him due to her supposed bankruptcy, but most people think it's because she found out that he was a homosexual. Some of his greatest compositions would include his ballets, Swan Lake, Sleeping Beauty, and the Nutcracker, his operas, The Queen of Spades and Eugene Onegin, and his symphonies number 5 and 6, and lastly, his 1812 Overture. In 1888 and 1889, he made a successful conducting tour of Europe, appearing in Prague, Hamburg, Paris, and London. In 1891, he went on a 2-month tour of America, where he gave concerts in New York, Baltimore, and Philadelphia. Also, in May of 1891, he was the conductor on the official opening night of Carnegie Hall in New York. A week after he conducted the premiere of his 6th symphony, he died of cholera on November 6, 1893. He only lived for 53 years, but he is probably the most famous and beloved Russian composer to have ever lived. Volker Hartung is the conductor of the piece that I'm showing you. He was born on December 15th, 1955 in Germany. He studied at Cologne Conservatory. He was a violinist with the Klassik Philharmonie. He is the principal conductor of the Cologne New Philharmonic since 1986, and he is a professor at Amadeus Vienna Music Academy in Austria. A little bit about the Nutcracker story. Act 1 takes place at a Christmas party where 2 children, Claire and Fritz, receive a nutcracker from their godfather. The children go to bed, but Claire returns to gaze at her gift, and she falls asleep and begins to dream. First, she is terrified to see that mice are scampering around the tree. Then, the dolls she received come alive and battle with the mice. She helps her beloved Nutcracker by throwing a slipper at the Mouse King, who is then vanquished, and the Nutcracker then becomes the prince and takes Claire away with him. A little bit about the musical elements of this piece. The genre is ballet. It is in quadruple meter. The texture is homophonic. The harmony is consonant. Orchestra is the timbre. The tempo is andante. The dynamics are mezzo forte level, and it decrescendos to piano, then crescendos to forte for the ending. And the form is ternary or ABA form. The music organization, it starts out with an opening theme A, and then there's contrasting theme B, and then returns to theme A. In theme A, there's two sections, section A and B, and they are both repeated. Section A is the brass led by the trumpets, and section B is the strings answering the brass. B theme is brief. It's heard about 4 times, and you'll hear flutes and violins, and it'll shift to a minor key. The A theme returns to a major key. It closely resembles the opening A theme, but the brass is louder, and the strings play a series of scales. And lastly, there is a coda to finish it out. And then this piece is the Cologne New Philharmonic Orchestra, and it's the conductors of Volker Hartung, and it's in Hamburg on February 1st, 2009. And that is my presentation. Does anyone have any questions?